Y'all, we're doing it again. I'm gonna be starting my tomatoes, peppers, tobacco, eggplants, basil, borage in January. I already went ahead and started my tobacco, peppers, and some eggplants 5 days ago. Not getting any sprouting yet, but I did take a peek because I'm impatient, y'all. I do this. I poked at the soil, took a little peek at a pepper seed, and it's just getting a little tail, I like to call it. Just start to get the very beginning of a little bit of a root system going there. So I'm excited. It's going. We're getting there. But I've been keeping these guys inside. I created a nice little warm area in my garden tub area. It's cold in my house. It's not super warm, so I ended up having Nathan install a heat lamp for me in there, and it's screwed in real tight so it's very secure. And I adjusted the height just right so that the soil temperature is between, I would say, 75, 77 degrees. With tobacco, peppers, eggplant, they like those warmer temperatures. Now tomatoes, they're fine with 70 degrees. If you see here, all these are all dry. I didn't put anything in these yet. I just wanted to fill this up so that my seeds are more stable and they're not flopping around in here, falling over. And I tested it out too upstairs. This tray is gonna be right pretty much underneath the heat lamp, and it's a good, like I said, about 77, 75 degrees. Now my tomatoes mostly will be on the other side, which won't be underneath the heat lamp exactly. So, but I did test the temperature on that side, and it's a good 70, 71 degrees, which is perfect. And I like to use this little guy. This is just a cheap little thermometer from Harbor Freight, and it's just got a little laser, and I can shine it on my actual soil. You see, 71.3, 71.2. They cooled down a little bit now that they're outside. But yeah, it's a great way of just really being able to tell what your soil temperature is like. But right now in my greenhouse, it's about 75 degrees, and it's like 55 outside. So for years I've been trying to find a way to get my greenhouse to be warmer, and I know that bringing in compost can definitely do that, and I've tried different methods and not ever having success. Finally, I figured it out, y'all. Mulch. I don't know if y'all remember, but I put a thick bed of mulch down here, and that has made a significant difference. I cannot believe it, because last year when I started my seeds, it was January the 13th. Today is January 15th. I had been very excited because we had a really nice warm week coming up, and that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and try starting these tomato seeds. And even with that warmer temperature, it was just 70 degrees in my greenhouse. Well, it's a lot colder out right now, and it's 75 degrees. Now when the sun really comes out, it will be 80, 85 degrees. That's a significant difference. So I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, this is the greenhouse here. It's covered with greenhouse plastic, and eventually our goal is to not have this plastic anymore. We're gonna have a load of stones trucked in, and half of the walls will be stonework, and then the other half will be some antique old-fashioned windows that'll be able to easily find at the antique stores around here. They're everywhere. And I'll be curious to see how much warmer it will be then. But that's a little ways off. We've got a lot of projects to accomplish before we can get to that point. But for right now, I'm very happy with how warm things are right now. Anyway, let's get this started. I'm gonna have to go out and check the mail here in a minute with y'all, because my other seeds are finally here. They took forever. So I need that basil. I want to start that basil, and I think I'm going to go ahead and start some chamomile as well. With all of these seeds, I am just putting a bunch in one pot, and they'll all sprout together and grow together, and at a certain point I will take them and I will separate them and put them in their own individual pots. It works perfect for me, especially since I'm going to be doing a lot of back and forth, y'all. So, two things about starting my seeds this early. One, I know I'm going to be doing some back and forth. Now, I'm okay with that because it's worth it to me to have my tomatoes and all my plants a lot bigger come the first week of April. My last frost date is, I think, April 4th. So right now we're having a bit of an Arctic blast come through. I think a lot of people are dealing with some unusually cold weather for this time of year. But, so I will be leaving these guys inside all week. But come next week, I will be bringing them out during the day and bringing them in at night. And that's another reason why it's nice to group them all up into pots together, because then I'm really gonna only have 2 trays that I'm gonna be moving each day. So that's not really that big of a deal. Now last year, when I finally put all of my seedlings in their own individual pots, we got some colder weather in March. I think that would have been March, I think, where I had to bring all my tomatoes inside. And y'all, I planted a lot of tomatoes last year. I think I planted a good 200 or more tomatoes, so I had a lot of trays we were moving in. My family, of course, helped me, but we had 2 nights of colder weather where it was going to be getting below freezing in my greenhouse. So we moved all my tomatoes in the house. So I had a house full of tomatoes. But y'all, even though that was a hassle, it was still worth it for me. Because when April hit and I was ready to put my stuff in the ground, everything was a really nice size, very decent sized tomatoes. And so that's why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it again. I know it's a little risky. People might think I'm a little foolish, but I'm a little bit of a risky gardener. It makes life a little bit more exciting, you know? The second thing is that my tomatoes in these 2.5-inch pots really could have used more room by the time I was putting them out. So I planted them January 13th. By the first week of April, I was putting them out into the garden. And I noticed that my tomatoes that I planted, I got a bunch of these Bonnie plant pots here. I save all of my extra pots just in case. I've got a ton of these. So some of the tomatoes I put in here. Now the ones that I put in here obviously got bigger. Their root systems were able to get bigger. So I might at some point transfer my tomatoes into bigger pots. Still debating on that, because even though the ones that got bigger in this pot, it's not like these ones that were in the smaller pot were root bound. And when I eventually put them out in the garden, they grew just fine. It's not like they were stunted or had any growing issues. But it would be nice to have them a little bit bigger, you know, so I might be putting them in bigger pots. But we'll see, because if the weather's real cold still, it's a lot easier to move my plants in this setup, because I think these are 32 cells in these pans, so compared to moving things around in these guys, which can only hold 10 pots. So we'll see how it goes. I'll kind of play that by ear. I might be ordering those 5-inch pots from Bootstrap to use for my tomatoes, but I'm not sure yet. Now I think I'm gonna do 120 tomatoes. Just a few beefsteaks, probably just a couple cherry tomatoes. The rest will be the Amish paste. Well, that hybrid Amish paste that I created in the garden. We'll see how it does. Oh, I need more pots. Alright, I'm going to spritz this soil down and get it nice and moist first before we start putting the seeds down. We got a turkey in the garden. Come here, turkey. I got 2 turkeys that are kind of being annoying. So everybody else goes in at night. Then I got 2 turkeys, sometimes 3, that will literally climb the fence. I'm going to show you just in a second. Are you ready to go back in? Let me show you. I'd like to get it on camera for you guys because it's kind of wild. Alright, so Nathan installed this right here, look. This fence, it goes all the way up, y'all. Because we were having issues with some of the turkeys roosting up here. So Nathan was like, okay, we're gonna build it even taller. Y'all, they climb this thing. It is wild. They get up here and they climb all the way to the top. I don't know. So we're gonna be doing a few things here to fix that situation. But until then, I still got a couple turkeys that like to, when they get off in the morning, they go out of the run instead of into the run. They're not very smart coming around here. Hey, you. Okay, I'm gonna leave this open. And we're gonna go around. Go on. And get this water going, y'all. You know, I'm curious to see how this borage is going to handle this colder weather. It's been doing fine so far. Now, what I've read online is that borage can handle light frosts. But, you know, when you're getting to the hard frosts, 28 degrees and lower, that they might die off. But my experience with it last year is that wasn't the case. It didn't die off until we got that weird random 7-degree single-digit weather 2 nights in a row. So we'll see, because we're going to be getting down into the teens this week. I think the lowest is just 16, 15, which that happens out here. Generally doesn't get lower than that in our area. I'm curious to see how this handles it. If I wasn't going to have so many nights getting down into the teens, I would just let my sprinkler run each night, and that would protect everything. But we'll see. I hope that it survives, because come springtime, y'all, these will flower and it will be so beautiful. But if the cold kills them off, that's it, you know. Yeah, we'll see. Not a whole lot I can do. That's right. We came out here to get the water going. Also, the weather keeps fluctuating. I keep looking at it. Sometimes it says we're gonna get 2 nights of in the teens weather, and sometimes it says we're gonna get 4. So if it's just 2 nights, I can let the sprinkler run those 2 nights. But we shall see. Look, I mulched this area up. It's so much nicer. It was kind of muddy, but look at this, you guys. They're popping up. Those are lily of the valley, which I'm excited about. It's one of my favorite flowers. I just think they're so beautiful. I got a big bag of them from Costco last year and planted them out, and I was excited to see them popping up. Okay, let's moisten the soil. Woo. Oh, I'm gonna get this wet. I don't want to get this wet. I also want to avoid spraying my tobacco in the back, because tobacco seeds are extremely tiny, and I water them with a misting bottle, just very lightly, because I don't want to get them buried down in the soil. You just sprinkle tobacco seeds on the top. So I'm gonna make sure to avoid those. Move it over. Go. Out so that door can shut all the way, but I will need it again. There's a stick in the way. Ooh. All right. Oh, I got these nice big popples. I got these nice big popsicle sticks from the dollar store. I really like them because I find that I can see the labels easier that way. I can write the name of the plant bigger. And I just like that, so. Yes. So I love oh, let's move you over here, y'all. That's better. I like using popsicle sticks. For me, it works out great. I find by the time that they're breaking down in the soil, I already know what the plant is, everything's out. And I'm fine with it breaking down into the soil. I'd rather that than the plastic ones. I just don't like those. Don't like putting plastic in my garden. Plastic particles do break down into the soil. That's one of the things that I dislike about plastic weed barriers. I did that before. I thought it was going to be the bee's knees, and I ended up hating it. Okay. It's funny now, I find that I like my weeds. I like my different weeds in the garden. Okay. Let's see, what do we want to plant first? Mushroom basket, open pollinated. Let's plant a couple mushroom baskets. Again, I'm not going to do a ton of, that's the honeycomb hybrid. Since it was a hybrid, we don't know what it's going to be this year. These are my Amish pastes. I'm going to be doing a lot of those. It's mostly what I'm going to be doing. I also went to the hardware store and got some beans. I was surprised to see that they had the rattlesnake beans. I could have just bought them from them instead of going to Gurney. So if I do need more, I'll just go get them from them. It's so much cheaper, and I prefer to support our local hardware store. But I got these ones. Oh no, you know what I did, you guys? I put these beans in here, but I forgot to label what they were. So I was excited to tell you what they were, but honestly, I don't remember. I'll have to go back there and look again, but this is just a bush bean variety that I got, and I'm kind of curious to see about mixing these bush beans in with my pumpkin patch. I'm also going to be mixing some tomatoes up there too, and I'll just let them grow on the ground like they would in the wild. But I want to mix some type of bean up there too, and I might try bush beans just for fun to see how it works. Now let's just hope I collected enough seeds to plant 120 of them, huh? Alright, I'm going to start with these mushroom baskets. I like tomato seeds. Oh, they're kind of fuzzy. They're cute. We'll just do 5 of them. In fact, one of the things I want to do too is on here, label how many seeds that I actually planted in here, just to get an idea of how well the germination rate was. So we'll do 5 in this one. Give these guys some space, huh? Since there won't be very many in that pot. And y'all, I dropped one, darn it. Do you see it? I don't see it anywhere. Oh well. Maybe it fell down on the ground. I guess I'll have to get one more. Make sure to label it, y'all, because I am not the best at being organized. I'm a bit of a willy-nilly gardener. I don't know what happened last year, but somehow I lost my loofahs and gourds. I don't know where they went. I planted them, but where did they go? I don't know. And then I only planted, I thought, a few cherry tomatoes. I didn't want a ton. And I ended up having so many cherry tomatoes, I didn't know what to do with them. So I'm going to try to stay more organized this year. Because I really want to make sure that I optimize my garden here and I'm planting things that we're going to really use and eat. Oh, and let's not forget to start some tomatillos. Where are you, tomatillo? Y'all, I found them. And I'm getting hot. It's almost 80 degrees in here. I might have to go change. But I got my tomatillos. What was I calling them? I don't know. I'm the queen at massacring words, y'all. But tomatillos, Kellogg's breakfast. So I'm gonna do a few of these Kellogg's, and I'll probably do 4 tomatillos. In fact, I want to do those over here. I need to start filling this section up first, and then go over there. Let's do that. By the way, when I do plant my basil, plant them all in a big pot here. This is what I did last year. I just planted them all in a big pot like this. Tons of seeds. They all grew up together. Got pretty tall. And then from there I just separated them and they did just fine. Now I will say, with my tomatoes last year when I separated them, I did it too soon. I should have waited another week or 2. I was just so excited. But some of the seedlings were not big enough, not mature enough, and they ended up getting shocked and dying. But this year I'm gonna be more patient. I'm gonna give them more time. Let's just do a couple extra just to make sure. I'm gonna kind of separate them a bit since there's space to do that. There we go. Cute little tomatillos. Now let's mark it so I'm not forgetting here. Oh, hey sweetie.
Mommy, I want to show you this that I found.
What did you find? Huh. That's Daddy's old Fort Benning. Huh. That's funny.
It was in the cabinet that Daddy took out.
Oh, interesting.
We stuffed all the cats in there and then put Melody in it.
Stuffed all the cats in the cabinet and then put Melody in it. That sounds like fun. Sounds like you guys are having a good time in there. That's funny. I didn't know Daddy had a tag like that. I don't know what that would have been for. Nathan, my husband, was in the military. He was a Black Hawk crew chief, and that was our last duty station, was Fort Benning. Although I think it's called something different now. I have no idea, but to me it's still Fort Benning. Anyway. Alright, Kellogg's breakfast. I think we're gonna take a break after this, go get the mail, and I'm gonna change. Those are cute. Oh, okay, how many do I want to do? Let's do 4. Now let's do 5. Can you hear the turkeys? I like when they make that little sound. It sounds like they're singing to me. And hopefully we get good germination here. I'm excited to see. I always get a little nervous starting seeds, you know? There's always that fear, like, what if they don't pop up? Alright, let's go run out real quick, and I'm gonna at least put a different shirt on or something. We harvested some of our first broccoli, which was fun. I'm so excited about it. It was my first time having success with broccoli. Some more heads on here. And I see that they're putting off some side shoots. I don't know. By the way, here, these Brussels sprouts have been taking forever. And finally starting to really put out something now. I think what happened, y'all, is I put a very thick, heavy layer of mulch here, and mulch can suck the nitrogen out of your soil. So I think that's what happened in this situation. So what I did is I went ahead and when I cleaned out the chicken coop the last time, I put down a bunch of bedding around these guys, if you see. And I have noticed a difference in them growing finally, if you see. I think they were just lacking in nutrients. Gosh, let's hope they're in here. Oh. Sounds like seeds. Oh. Look. This must be Treasure Island. Yeah, I got the book Treasure Island for Melody to read. I thought she'd enjoy that one. Alright, y'all, I'm going to leave y'all here with the seeds. I'm just going to go change my shirt, I think. I think that should be sufficient. And I'll be right back. Alright, I feel better now. Now I'm not going to be sweating. Oh, I can leave this book here. I don't need to bring it. We just need the seeds. Tomorrow. Oh, that's right. I left the water running. I'll turn that off. I don't need it right now. Mara, why don't you come in the greenhouse with me? Come on, you. I'm gonna trip on this hose. Yes, that's better. Okay. We'll rip this open. See what we got here. Alright. My little orange hobbit hybrids. Sunflowers. That's gonna be fun. I think I'm just gonna put them straight out in the ground. I've tried doing the sunflowers in pots and they don't transplant very well. I heard the same thing about borage, but I've never had an issue with putting borage into pots and planting them out. It's my peanuts, basil, that Everleaf Emerald Towers basil, rattlesnake pole beans, and sunflower skyscrapers. So that will be fun. Excited about that. So the only one I'm starting today is the basil. Sunflowers will go out directly into the soil. Oh, there's something else in here. What's this? Oh. Was I just putting stuff back in the bag? Yeah, I guess I was. Wait. Oh no, I got two. That's right, I got two pole bean rattlesnakes, so I had plenty. Okay. I'm gonna put these over here. Onward we go. This is great. I'm gonna have plenty of space. Gosh darn. I hate those darn little, I don't know what they're called. It's like some type of gnat that likes to get in your moist soil. They're annoying. I just squish them. I did cherry tomatoes last year because my littlest one loves them so much, and she didn't eat one cherry tomato. So it's like this year, I'm not gonna do as many. Did you hear that bird? Let's see if she'll sing again for us. Oh, you guys, you turkeys are ruining it. She's still singing a little bit, but I don't think you can hear it. There's this particular bird, I don't know what kind it is. Every time it sings, I'm telling you, it's got the prettiest little voice. The prettiest little song. And I keep trying to get it on camera for y'all. Maybe she's camera shy. It's cold out here. You know, my little anoles are still running around in here. They like this warmth in the greenhouse. Don't worry now, I'm gonna be going back over and putting a little bit of soil on top. That's how I like to do it. I get the soil wet first, put my seeds down on top, and then I bury them again, and then I spritz them down a little bit. It's just how I like to do things. If my soil is wet first, I just get stuck all over my fingers, and then the seeds are sticking to my fingers, and it just drives me crazy. We'll do 3 of these too. 1, 2, 3. 3 seeds. Sound a little bit like Sesame Street, y'all. That used to be my favorite show. Honeycomb cherry hybrid. Huh. I put an M, homie. Honey. Honeycomb. And we did 3 seeds. Okay, let's stay organized here. I put all the ones that I've already done back. That way I'm not getting confused. Ma, what are you doing in there? Are you getting hot in here too? Gosh darn, I think I'm gonna take my shoes off. Oh, that's better. My feet are getting hot. Goodness gracious. A lot of seeds in there. You see in there? Yeah. Oh, dropped one. Oh. Alright, y'all, I don't need that many. You can go back in now. We just need a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That sounds like a good number. Alright, next thing, I'm just gonna go crazy and do lots of these Amish pastes. See what we get. I've got lots of different ones from different of these Amish beefsteak varieties, so we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fill out each of these trays. We'll see how much I have left, and I'll make some basil in here too, make my life easier. There were a lot of seeds in there, so I think I went a little overboard. I did 37 of those, and I still had more over here, so I'll probably just I won't be doing as many with the other ones. So we'll see. And it's okay if I have extras. I do like having backups, just in case something happens. It's nice to have backups, and it's nice to also not deplete all of my seeds here. I'll have leftovers. There's the bird again. One of these days I'll get her to sing for you. Y'all, I was able to get all the tomatoes just on this sheet here, so that's great. I went ahead and transferred the mushroom basket we put over here, and I think I'm just gonna do herbs over here. So that's great. I got some stevia, I think I'll start, and then some caraway. I'll have to get some chamomile. So we'll get those started along with the basil. And the borage, I would start it this week, but it's gonna be so cold. Next week's gonna be much better. So next week I will start the borage in the greenhouse and leave it in the greenhouse. I won't need to bring it in. It doesn't need the higher temperatures that these guys do need to germinate. Let's plant us some basil. By the way, I forgot to mention, one more squash I'm gonna be planting. It's a winter squash, and it's called cinnamon squash. We named it that because, gosh, there's not very many seeds in this. I thought there was going to be way more seeds in here. That's disappointing. I'm gonna have to get more basil because that's not gonna be enough. So Lily's little bunny Cinnamon, she ate some squash last year and ended up planting some around the yard for us. And what grew was an interesting looking squash. It was definitely a cross between a Long Island cheese and a Tahitian melon. And it was a neat looking thing. And so that's why we call it cinnamon squash. And I decided that I'm going to save seeds from it. I'm going to grow some. I'm going to see how they do. I'm going to do the Long Island cheese on one section of the garden and then the cinnamon squash on the other side. So hopefully they don't cross. I ended up making some delicious squash soup out of that cinnamon pumpkin. And it has surprisingly a lot of flesh within it. Also very sweet. It's very soft to cut into. And yeah, so I went ahead and saved a bunch of seeds from that one. So I will be doing that one this year as well. So yeah, we'll just put this one right in here in one little pot. I think I have some cardinal basil left. I don't know. Is there anything? No, absolutely nothing. It's like dirt. Well, that's too bad. I liked this one too. I did this one last year. Just have to do some caraway and get more basil seeds and chamomile, any other herbs that I want to mix in. Oh, we got quite a bit of caraway. Oh, it smells good. I like the way it smells. Got some stevia too. And then we will just bury everything. These are tiny, aren't they? I don't know if you guys can see them in there. That's it. Oh, there's a few more in there. Come on. Come on in there. Now I just have to spritz them down a bit and we'll bring them in the house where it's warmer. Oop, that's not the one. That was fun, y'all. I hope y'all stay warm this week. And I will be checking back up with y'all. Hopefully when these are sprouting. Whenever that may be. Alright, y'all. Take care. And we'll see you next time.